Welcome back to week 12 of the Fantasy Football Formula. This is the Thanksgiving DFS slate. Honestly, this is like one of my favorite slates of the entire year. You get to sit down, watch three individual games, one after another, all day long, eating turkey. This is, and for DFS wise, I just think it's a great setup. If you know what you're doing, and there's a lot more strategy that goes into the three games being separate and utilizing the late swap feature. So we'll get into talking strategy, some of our favorite plays. So we'll go game by game instead of position by position. So starting,
yeah, I think I'm going for the gravy this week. I mean, I like the 3-game setup just in itself. I think that's kind of fun. So we're bringing home the taters.
Not only can you do the Thanksgiving slate, like get burned early or something, you got two showdown slates left if you want to attack it. Like you just all the way until that New England game, like you can try to get something going. So starting off, Buffalo, Detroit with the highest total of the week. Like this is one of those things where like the game starts at like 12:30 Eastern time, 11:30. The slate, a lot of the slate, I think, just rides on this game and whether you're going to play it heavily or fade it or just play some pieces, because I do think if any game were to like go nuclear and like you need so many pieces from the game optimal, it would be this game. And if you think otherwise, you're contrarian and it's good for tournaments. But what do you guys think in this game? Like, what are you guys doing here?
I mean, pretty obvious. We can just get it out of the way right away. Josh Allen, obviously.
Best quarterback play.
Yeah. Is this week, like, is he though a lock? Because he only put up 12 points against the Browns. He had like 80 yards at half. Like maybe that elbow's starting to get a little bit sore.
So you're
3 weeks after the injury.
You're actually not into him this week?
No, I actually like Jared Goff better. I don't know. I'm a little worried about Josh Allen's elbow. I'll be honest.
So from this game, you're going to play more Goff than Allen.
I am, yeah.
So that means, so who else do you like from this game? I'm assuming you just like a bunch of Detroit guys.
I mean, I love Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah,
that's my favorite play.
I think Amon-Ra is probably the best receiver play on the slate, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely my favorite, and I'm going to have him in 100% of lineups.
But yeah, I mean, he's an absolute incredible play.
I don't think I'm going to play too many Bills, to be honest, because if I'm worried about Josh Allen's elbow, that means the receivers are not going to hit their optimal. And that backfield, like James Cook basically played the whole Browns game. Very little Devin Singletary. So
no, Singletary definitely played most of that game.
I don't know. James Cook was the one who stood out the most to me.
He had Singletary at 18 carries,
86 yards and a touchdown,
and 2 targets and 2 receptions.
James Cook had 11 touches, 86 yards.
86 yards, yeah.
Yeah, I mean he had more, but like they were both involved. Cook came in more in a blowout.
No, it wasn't really a blowout.
They were up by a lot, but I mean Cook. So you like Cook then, or in Singletary, or?
No, I'm just saying I don't really like any Bills because like the running backs, I just think there's better plays elsewhere. And so you're gonna splitting carries. Like especially don't like Singletary.
So you're gonna do a Detroit onslaught, no Bills run backs, and then play pieces from the other 4 teams.
I'm gonna play a lot of the Cowboys game. I want like the entire Cowboys team in my lineup.
So is Dak your favorite quarterback then?
Yeah, like I'm only gonna play Dak and Goff.
Wow. All right. Well, so Nick is the one guy. Is anyone else on Nick's side at all in this?
I mean, it's not my favorite game.
The Detroit Buffalo is not your favorite.
No, I like. Okay, so say you put all your chips in one basket for this game, right? And you play most pieces from this game only, and this game finishes, 21-17 or whatever.
Then you're on to the showdown slates.
Yeah, then you're on the showdown. So, like, I mean, obviously, I'm going to play pieces of this game. I'm not just going to fully not play it, but I don't think any of these games are really going to be close enough
All right.
to have.
So like, let me ask you this: when you're ranking your quarterbacks, where do Allen and Goff fall in your like where you'd play them? Like, what your exposure is going to be to these quarterbacks?
Allen will probably be second, maybe third.
Okay.
And then Goff is probably towards the bottom because I don't think the Lions have a chance in this game. So I don't think I like the under in this game. It's 53 points. I just don't see.
I think it's up to 54 now.
That's even crazier. I mean, DeAndre Swift is very enticing at 5,600. He's cheaper than Jamal Williams now. I mean, Jamal Williams is getting the goal line work, which is really hurting. But I think DeAndre Swift is a great play to, peel off of Williams. People are going to be like, oh, going to pay the extra $300 to get the goal line work. But we all know Swift, who can catch the ball out of the backfield, 60-yard run for a touchdown or pass for a touchdown. It just sucks if he gets tackled at the 2 because he's most definitely coming out.
All right, Alex, go ahead because I have a very strong take in this, and you can go first.
Yeah. I have a feeling we might be on the same side of that. I think Josh Allen and Diggs or Gabe Davis absolutely feast and are in the optimal lineup. And I think some people may be going off of Josh Allen because of his last game and because of that elbow. And he's clearly by far and away the most expensive QB on the slate, over $1,800 until Dak there. And then, on the run back, I think you either get Amon-Ra or you get Swift in there. And I think either could have a good game. I think the Lions are going to put up some points, but ultimately I think the Bills win by 2 scores. So definitely favoring that side in this matchup.
Yeah. So I'm pretty much sold on the idea. Earlier this week, I was considering just playing 2 quarterbacks, being Josh Allen and Dak Prescott. Because with these Thanksgiving slates, like you basically just need the highest points like at each position. Like you just need the highest raw points. That's just how it ends up working out with the receiver values you can get that end up going off. So for me, how I'm playing this slate, I'm building 150 Josh Allen teams. I'm fading every other quarterback. And the way I'll get different is just playing low owned pieces because Josh Allen will be the highest owned quarterback. But I think it should be higher. Like I think he should be like 60% owned on this 3-game slate. And I think he's going to be closer to like 40 because I do think Dak gets some ownership and Cousins gets some ownership. And then, minimal ownership scattered between the, other guys. And I think Josh Allen's going for over 30 fantasy points. So unless someone like Dak Prescott can like do the same, I don't see how Josh Allen isn't optimal. And I will have one of Gabe Davis or Diggs or both on every single team. Knox is probably my favorite tight end play. At 3.5K, Detroit is horrible against tight ends. And I'm just going to do like onslaught. Like I'll probably have Singletary and Cook mixed in with these. Like I might play 5 or 6 Bills in most lineups. And even the defense on some of those teams. And then what?
So like in the 4th quarter when this game's not scoring, we'll get a text from you like, oh, I'm done on to Sunday slate.
On to showdown slate. Yeah. I mean, if the Bills have 21 points, I'll be done. Like I'm on these slates, you have to take stands. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to play 1 Goff lineup, 1 Mac Jones lineup, 1 Allen lineup. One of those lineup hits, well, great. You lost all the other money. You're just getting your money back or losing a little bit. Like you have to take stands, whether it's getting different at the quarterback position or just playing low on plays, leaving salary, whatever. I'm playing Allen. Like he's by far and away, I think, the best play.
Yeah, it's the best. It definitely is the best play and best matchup for sure on the slate.
And Amon-Ra, I said, is my favorite receiver play. I like Amon-Ra at his price more than Diggs and Gabe. And so he's a perfect run back. Like I'll probably have a Detroit guy on every team, like whether it's Khalif Raymond, who's a low owned guy, Detroit or DeAndre Swift will be fairly low owned. I'm not playing any Jamal Williams. I'm fading him completely.
Yeah.
I just think people can go chase those touchdowns if they want. if they're playing from behind, Swift is going to be more involved.
I mean, I don't hate that call. I just think that it allows me, like when I'm looking at the rest of my team, I kind of want to go get Justin Jefferson, and it's really hard to play him in Diggs. So I
Yeah, you
think
would have
that's
to do
why I'm
like
less on the
Gabe
Bills,
and
because like
Jefferson.
every time I see Alex and we're out talking about football, I'm like, Justin Jefferson is Randy Moss, and we'll talk about it for like 20 minutes. And I think we see the repeat of the Thanksgiving Day game.
Oh my
where he
gosh.
had like three touchdowns, 180 yards.
Oh
So
my gosh.
I don't know. I just, for some reason, have to play a lot of Justin Jefferson because I could just
Well,
see him
I'll just
having
tell
a
you,
massive game on Thanksgiving night.
I'll
and
just tell you
like,
right now, Nick, you will be, if you're building a lineup like that where you're playing, Goff or that, and then Jefferson, and not like, you're going to be very unique because not many people are going to be going that route. So I'm going to get unique by playing the guys like Diggs up top, and then my low cheap guys are going to be, and we'll get into that in that game as well, who I like the most. But Josh Allen's going crazy. You're just gonna sit back on all your winnings the whole day, just seeing your lineups all the way up top. It's gonna be great. Usually you're
watch
chasing
it
those
fall
at the
down.
end. I mean,
Watch it
usually
fade away into the night.
fade away. It could very well be possible, but early when I'm eating turkey, I'm gonna be feeling real good about my winnings, and who knows if it'll fade by the end. But
he'd be drunk on that tryptophan.
So, all right, on to the Giants Cowboys game. Well, it sounds like Corey and Nick, you guys, this might have your favorite quarterback in it. Is that correct? No? Okay. Nick, for you? Right?
I mean,
Dak.
You said
Dak's
Dak.
definitely my favorite.
Okay.
I kind of like Tony Pollard too. I think even if they just use him like 5 or 6 times just out of the backfield like they did last game, I think he could have like 100 yards just off that alone. And then if he gets 10 carries, great. That's just kind of like bonus points for me. But I think the gap at wide receiver down there in Dallas has kind of been filled up by Tony Pollard. They're using him out of the slot very uniquely. And I think it's the first time that I see Mike McCarthy like recognizing the skill of his players and like putting them in a great position to win. And I think we saw that out of Tony Pollard last week. So, they're starting to build an identity, getting ready for a Super Bowl run, I think, there in Dallas. So we'll see if they get OBJ too. That could be kind of fun.
So what's your favorite, if you're playing Dak, like what's your favorite pass catcher with him?
I mean, Pollard and CeeDee Lamb, I think, are probably up there for me. I'm also playing a lot of Dalton Schultz.
Oh, okay.
I think he's like a good consistent 10 points. Like he probably doesn't have that home run upside like a George Kittle, but I just like him for, being reliable to a sense of like he's not going to put up 2 points.
Yeah, behind Knox, Schultz is my
High
second favorite tight end play.
Yeah, I think last year he was a top 5 tight end when Dak was healthy. Starting to trend that way again, so I'm hopeful there.
What are you doing? So are you doing complete Dallas onslaught and no Giants run backs? Like, are you playing any Giants?
Some lineups, if I have to go cheap receiver, I kind of like Slayton, just because he's the only target there, but it's just okay. Like I'm not excited about it.
Yeah, it's looking like Richie James at 3.4K could get some ownership because with Wando Robinson going down, like someone's besides Slayton going to get targeted.
Yeah.
Is it Kenny
I think
Galladay finally?
Kenny Galladay could be the guy too, but like they just don't like him much. So I think it'll be Richie
James. He
James.
drops so many passes. He's so bad.
Like Galladay is definitely going to be lower owned than Richie James, but it's thin right there. But yeah, I'm going to play some Richie. Just he's going to be a little too high owned, so I'll probably just match the field. I won't go overweight on him, but I still have to play some of him. And I like Gallup a little bit. I love Lamb. Like the Dallas is the next game after Buffalo, where I'm making it a rule where I have to play one Dallas player, whether it's Pollard, Lamb, or Zeke or Schultz. Like I want one Dallas guy on every team I make.
Yeah,
because I just
like.
think the Bills and Dallas are going to be the highest scoring teams this week. So that's who I'm focusing my players on.
So too.
Yeah, I mean, I like Zeke a lot. For some reason, he always just.
I mean,
seems
he's
to
got a
do-
he price.
Yeah, and he seems to he seems to do well on Thanksgiving anyways. Like his past couple of years, I feel like he's had really good performances. And Jerry Jones knows the whole world is watching.
I know that's what's going
want-
to kill me when he just wants to feature freaking Zeke.
I know. So I mean, Zeke. I mean, last week what did he do? He had 2 touchdowns last week. 15 carries, 42, 2 touchdowns. Wasn't active in the receiving game. I think you could probably get away being unique playing both Pollard and Zeke, and just hope that Pollard is more focused and featured in the passing game, because any other receiver on Dallas has sucked this year. If you're not CeeDee Lamb, Michael Gallup. I mean, he had 4 targets, 41 yards. Dalton Schultz is catching he's getting 4 targets, 5 targets maybe a game, 3 catches, 30, 40 yards, no touchdowns, trash. What the Cowboys want to do in the red zone is literally just run the ball as much as they possibly can. And so I'll be on that side of the Dallas. Giant side, I mean, it remiss not to play, Saquon, but honestly, that's probably about it. I mean, I think this is gonna be a low scoring game in general, and every receiving option on the Giants they just are so bad. Just so bad.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lower scoring game for the Giants, but high scoring for the Cowboys. Saquon, and I made a rule, max 1 Giants player. I'll only have a max on a roster of 1 Giants player. So if Saquon or Richie James, those are the only 2 guys I'm interested in, happen to appear in the lineup, so be it. But I'm not sold on either of those guys. They're not my favorite plays or anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's also why I don't really like Dak Prescott, because I usually like game stacking, and I just don't really like many Giants. So I'd rather just play that Bills game more. Anything else to add, Alex, in this game?
No, I mean, it sounds like none of us like Saquon against that Cowboys front.
I mean, it's not a smash spot.
Right? Yeah.
That's a pretty good run defense. So
yeah.
I'm not feeling like I have to play it.
Yeah, he's not a must play. The only thing about Saquon is this isn't some stellar slate of running backs. If those expensive receivers don't really go off, maybe some of those cheaper guys, and then the cheap running backs don't really get there, and Saquon puts up 20, he could still,
because it's Saquon and he's the best there is. So I mean, there's always that potential. In a primetime game, I feel like he always does pretty good. So
yep, but that's about it. Minimal Giants, like the Dallas side. Now this next game, it seems like Corey, this might be your favorite.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, this is where I like some of these cheap plays, but we'll let you talk about, why you like this game the most. First off.
Well, I understand the whole Kirk Cousins thing, and it's primetime Kirk, and he's pretty average or below average on primetime. I think I don't think they got embarrassed last week on national TV, in that 4:00 slot. And I think that there's a lot of leaders on that Vikings team, especially on the defensive side, that is going to be pretty upset, and they're going to rally their team. And I like Kirk Cousins, especially at his price, 5,600. I think he can be the second highest scoring quarterback on the slate. I still think Josh Allen has that potential to be the highest scoring. But with the weapons on the offensive side for Kirk, I think there's a lot of ways for him to succeed. And even on the flip side, Mac Jones, I'd be a little bit more interested if they threw the ball more. The issue with the last 3 games, he's thrown 35, 30, 27. He's been pretty good in his completions, but I just don't think there's anyone on the Patriots side that has a home run threat that I'd be chasing. So it's kind of like the Bills side that we were talking about earlier is onslaughting this and just having 1 or 2 pieces the hardest part about this, I think, is either picking between Stevenson and Harris. Harris had a pretty good game last week, 8 for 65.
If you
And
think
then
the Vikings crush, I mean, it's a pretty easy decision on which Patriots running back to play.
why would you say
There's
that?
some debate there.
Because
No, it's not.
Stevenson catches out of the backfield.
Yeah.
I mean, but I feel like
He's
I
had
don't
a
know,
better season.
Yeah, they have for sure. But like on the receiving side, like Thornton is always getting like Tyquan Thornton for the Patriots is always getting involved. They're trying to figure him out. I mean, that's like one of those low cheap plays that PB's talking about at finding like in the rest of the games if you're on slotting in the first two.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna suck if you wait till you basically full fade the first two games, not full fade, but you fade the first two games, and this game comes up and you just see your little widget thing not move because this game could fail.
It's just frozen right at the
Yeah.
That's the worst too. Like all day, you never even thought you had a like usually the whole day your lineups are just down here, and then the game starts. And like it just barely moves up, and you're just wait, and it's 3-3 at halftime.
Yeah, but this is if this was being played in New England, I'd be feeling a little bit different about this game. I'm hoping
So is Jefferson your favorite receiver play?
Yes.
Okay, you guys, because he's looking at to be like around 30 to 40% owned, and I don't see it getting higher with Lamb, Diggs, and Amon-Ra. And these guys, and some people still probably being like, oh, I want to get one of Saquon or Dalvin. Like, there's just not gonna be enough money left for people to get to Jefferson. So I think his ownership stays relatively in check. It's not gonna be under 10% or anything, but yeah, he'll be the lowest owned stud for sure of the receivers. But and he's the guy that could kill me. Like, he's the guy where I'm sweating bullets the entire last game because I will have played, all those guys early. And this is where like I'm hoping for, this is where all my favorite like low owned guys, and it's mainly on the Patriots side.
Yeah.
It's I forgot to mention Isaiah McKenzie and Shakir in Buffalo. I'm sprinkling those guys in just because it's a way to get different with your Buffalo stack. But my favorite ones are Tyquan Thornton, Nelson Aguilar, Devontae Parker. The Patriots receivers are like, besides Myers, I still like Myers, but like he's going to be owned. Like he's not going to be low owned. Those are my that's my big stance for the low owned guy that could pop in the optimal, because they're all like those one hit plays that could score a touchdown. And the Thornton I like and Aguilar are my two favorites. I think like that's how you attack Minnesota's secondary, is these speedsters.
Are you guys at all worried about Belichick always scheming out the top target, top guy, and just
that's why I don't like Jefferson.
Yeah, that's what I'm a little bit worried about. And they've got good corners there in New England.
And so do you like, is Hawkinson your favorite tight end play, Corey?
Yeah, I love Hawkinson.
I like Hawkinson a lot.
I was higher on him earlier in the week when I saw the matchup, but since Kyle Duggar's been back for the Patriots, don't like it as much. He's very good against tight ends, and he was out and he's been back. They've already faced this year. Hawkinson's already gone up against Duggar this year when he was on the Lions.
Yeah.
He put up one reception for 6 yards.
Yeah, but that's different offense, different scheming.
Goff and Cousins aren't too far off.
I mean, it's totally different offenses.
I'm just saying Duggar is a good strong safety.
I'm not disagreeing with you there. I think that I think what the Vikings offer up is a little bit more threatening than what the Lions could offer up, like the difference between Hawkinson and on each of those teams. So I just think he's in a good spot. If we do think that the Patriots are going to get pressure on Kirk Cousins, he's going to be looking to get the ball out quickly. I talked about last week, Hawkinson runs short routes. Obviously, that didn't really come to fruition against the Cowboys because they got absolutely obliterated. But like if you're trying to like put pressure on Cousins, like that's leaving people one-on-one on matchups. And I think that's where Hawkinson can thrive. And Jefferson can thrive as well. And in the way we've seen Jefferson use this year, him moving around a lot, the pre-play action and movement motion that he's getting is by far higher than it's ever been when he's been on the Vikings. And that's been a huge talking point this entire season. And that's why he's doing so well. So, I mean, we saw him in Buffalo, what he did. I think he can easily repeat that against the Patriots.
My favorite running back play on the whole slate is from this game.
Is it Dalvin?
No, it's Ramondre Stevenson.
Okay.
He's my favorite running back player on the whole slate. His usage in the passing game is just insane right now. And I'm going to feel pretty good if my lineups are all the way up top the whole day, and then I still have Ramondre going in it. Ramondre and like maybe one of these cheap Patriots receivers going into the final game. Like I'm going to feel pretty good at that time.
I think
like Jefferson's obviously the guy that could just blow me right out of the water. He's the one dude that can. Dalvin Cooks, I like him more than Saquon because if I think they're going to prioritize taking out Jefferson, then I think, and I don't really like Hawkinson on Duggar. I think maybe those checkdowns could go more to Dalvin, and he gets it going more in the passing game.
I definitely could see that. So now that we've kind of talked through all three games, I think what I'm going to do is 50% Buffalo, Detroit, 50% Vikings.
You decided against you decided to make it an even split.
Yeah, I think so. Just for the sole fact that, well, first of all, I think the second game is going to be a dud. I really do. I don't think it's going to, I think it's just going to kind of fizz out and be a low scoring game. And then that could kill me. But I'm going to have, it's not like I'm not playing that game. Like I'll have pieces, like one piece from like on each lineup from that game. But I think there's enough low end plays throughout the three games that you can get away with doing something like that. And just be playing showdown slates for each game. But what are you doing for defense? Are you just playing the Lions defense and just so that you can fit everyone in?
No, I'm not playing the Lions defense when
I'm just talking. I'm talking about. So I'm talking about as like a general at like if you are playing if you are playing it pieces from each three games.
Yeah.
As a strategy, are you just going to play the lowest owned defense and hope that they get you 5 points?
No, I'm playing what I think is going to be the lowest. The Cowboys and Bills, I'll probably sprinkle in like match the field, like, maybe 15% each. And then I'm like going to split my defense. Like the Patriots are probably my favorite defense, but I still like the Vikings defense as well. So those are like be my favorite too. The Patriots and Vikings. I think that's the lowest scoring game of the day. And that's where I think defensive touchdowns are going to be the likeliest to be scored.
Patriots defense is going to be so highly owned.
I don't think it's going to, because of their, it'll be higher on than the Vikings, I think. But I don't know. Like, I still think it's not going to be like crazy.
Yeah. No.
But this is also the last. So now we kind of went over our favorite plays. Alex, do you like Jefferson? You said you don't really like him.
No, I like Hawkinson from this game, and that's about it. I don't hate Ramondre. I still think that he's going to get the majority of the workload. I think they're still working Damian Harris back in from that hamstring. Yeah. They're taking it easy on him. I just worry about Bill Belichick scheming completely, taking Jefferson out, just like double covering him every single play, and just saying, let's see what our pass rush can get to Kirk without Darashaw in there. We can rush 4, put 2 on Jefferson, and make the rest of the team beat him.
Yeah, Darashaw being out is quite big.
It's huge.
Like he's going to be pressured so much.
Yeah, Judon is going to feast. So, yeah, I agree. I think it's a pretty low scoring game. I think the Cowboys, Giants, and this game are both pretty low scoring. But yeah, do not like Jefferson. this week.
Okay. Well, now we have to get to like a little more. It was what I was talking about, why I love this Thanksgiving slate the most. And it probably doesn't fit with me as much because I love the first game so much. It's hard for me to make a bunch of pivots throughout the day because so many of my plays are going to be in the first one. But what you need to do is like, you cannot basically, if you play the Buffalo Detroit game, just to like get some money back, maybe somehow, you just need to completely take out any chalk the rest of the game and play just completely low on plays that no one else is going to play, and hopefully they score a big touchdown. If you fade the first game and it hits, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do on your Kirk Cousins lineups, Corey, if like all half of them, if this game goes nuclear?
Make a lamb sacrifice and pray to the fantasy gods that Kirk Cousins can somehow put a huge game together.
See,
I mean, there's not really anything you can do.
You can.
It's okay. If Josh Allen goes for 40 points, you're
okay.
Yeah,
you're, but I think you would. Yeah, I mean, it's just tough because you can't just play chalk. Like, you can't just go and like keep a Lamb in your lineup and keep like Schultz in your lineup. Like, you should take out at least your tight ends that maybe are chalky and play like Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, who they score 2 touchdowns. You're getting some of those back. Like, playing Schultz isn't going to get you anywhere. Who's going to be one of the higher owned tight ends? You know what I mean? Like, I think you can get different.
The best way to make up ground is just like leverage and low owned plays. That's your move.
Yeah, that's all you can do if you get beat. But let's say it fails. Then you could stay on your Cousins lineups, and maybe some of those low owned plays, like maybe you don't even have to really go there as much anymore. You can pivot more onto the chalk in the later games, and you're fine because that first game just completely failed.
Yeah, but say the first game goes nuclear, Josh Allen finishes with 35 points. I'm probably moving off of Cousins, and I'll go down to Mac Jones, and just start stacking up something that I believe to be, because not a lot of people are going to play. I mean, it's going to be lower owned stacks of Patriots players because, I mean, it's
Mac, Ramondre plus, or like your Ramondre. I think any Ramondre lineup you have, if you like, for example, for me, if Buffalo, Detroit, because I'm going to love Ramondre. Like, I legit might have him on nearly all of my lineups. I would put, and that game fails, I would play Damian Harris. I would just do a swap off of Ramondre and play 0 Ramondre.
Yeah.
And if Harris scores 30 and Ramondre scores 10, I just made up a ton of ground right there.
Yeah.
Like, that's my biggest leverage right now is Ramondre to Damian Harris. If that first game fails, that's just personally my biggest leverage piece.
Yeah.
So from just a general strategy standpoint, you got to get completely different if you miss early.
Yes.
And just hope for completely low owned pieces going off.
Yeah, and like the other pieces failing, and that'll help you maybe get back in the money. Maybe not winning a tournament because it failed, like, and you had money, but at least like not losing everything.
Right.
It's got to be in the money.
Yeah, as Nick says, I just got to be in the money. All right, are we gonna build a lineup now?
Yeah, let's do one.
Hang on, I gotta quickly grab my charger.
Oh my gosh, you not even prepared?
All right, well, let's get started.
All right,
who's our favorite QB?
I mean, we were all kind of split on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's Josh Allen. I don't think I think he is definitely the best matchup.
Do you think
personally
he's worth $1,800 more than Dak, who could just put up around the same amount?
But that's the thing. I don't believe. I think the Giants are better when they played him earlier this year, which Dak didn't even play in.
They had some tough injuries on defense last week. You're going to get a bunch of like tier 2 cornerbacks covering CeeDee Lamb. It's going to be like a nightmare.
I mean,
I think it's a Dak lineup.
Nick wants.
I'm trying to convince us too. I just don't love Josh Allen. I mean, I get it, but
we've seen
you can make a lot more
what
Well,
creative
wait till let's
lineups.
take a vote. Let's just take a vote. I mean, there's
It's
4 of us.
3-1.
I vote Allen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Nick, it's 3-1. I think if you see what happens to Detroit's secondary, like what every single quarterback can do.
Okuda's
against,
out. Like,
I think their defense has been playing better than they have all year.
dude, Detroit's defense is terrible. What are you talking about?
Yeah, just throw Allen in there. Nick, sorry.
All
right. So Diggs or Gabe Davis in this one?
I hate Gabe Davis. I'd rather Diggs.
I'm fine with either. I do think I'm going to be like, I have a ton of both, but
I think Gabe Davis is going to be so high owned because of his price, and people are just going to be like off the Diggs. And
people aren't going to be off Diggs. Let's say that. Alex, what do you think?
I think it's a Gabe Davis day, but he's strikeout or grand slam, right? Like he's either gonna put up a 5-point game or he's gonna
put like 25.
30, yeah.
Nick, what do you say, Diggs or Gabe?
If you go Gabe Davis, I think you throw in like Amon-Ra St. Brown too.
We're probably putting Amon-Ra in this lineup regardless with Diggs or Gabe.
Yeah,
that's fine. Well, let's
but
go
I just don't like Diggs and Amon-Ra is like expensive. So
yeah, you can make it work though.
So let's do that for now.
Yeah.
Do we want to?
We probably want to. Yeah, I'm thinking we have to put Knox in here.
Seems like the
logical thing.
Yeah.
All right, let's get a running back. So probably not going with this is another reason why I like Allen too. Like I'm not really into like Saquon or Dalvin a whole. Like I like the cheaper running back. So naturally, I like Allen at 8K more than Barkley at 8K.
I'm good with any of Stevenson, Swift, or Pollard.
I said Stevenson's my favorite play. What do you think, Corey?
I mean, I like Stevenson as well, just for the fact that what you've already laid out in the very beginning. Like this game goes nuclear. You just have Ramondre in the back, just waiting in the wind just to carry you to the first place.
Just to seal the deal on your winnings.
Yeah.
And you could even stack it up with Patriots or Minnesota, so you have that extra 10 points coming in later too. Like when the slate starts, you get that 10-point boost and see what happens from there. I don't know if we're fading. We're not playing probably. I mean, yeah, I say Cowboys.
Defense.
No, defense is. I say Patriots or Vikings. That's my vote. But what do you guys think?
I think I'd rather play the Vikings defense solely on the fact that they got their doors blown off last week, as much as that doesn't make sense.
I don't mind the Vikings. Like Mac Jones throws pick sixes. We might see Bailey Zappi after he screws up, and then Zappi throw like bunch of, they could get pressure on Mac.
All right.
Yeah, and don't really worry about like playing a player against a defense. Like it's
I would leave it to like I want to do like 4 or something.
No.
Right. You're not doing your main stack.
Yeah.
I'm not playing the Lions defense.
Not playing Lions defense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, hang on with that Lions. If that game fails and doesn't reach the threshold, the Lions defense allows you to be completely different because
No, if you're fading this game, you should probably sprinkling in Lions defense like 1,000%. Like if you actually like Nick, you don't like the Bills, like you should 100% be playing Lions defense and getting that extra money to play other guys.
Yeah, my Millie Maker lineup, I play the Lions defense, but it allows me, and I'm playing Goff at quarterback too. It allows me to go get Jefferson, Lamb, and the Sun God.
Yeah,
so I kind of like just going like 3 big primetime receivers like that, and I get Jacoby Myers, who I think is probably going to be the only receiver to own this week on the Patriots side. So I don't hate the call for those cheap guys like on a flyer, but
yeah.
Well, in this lineup, we might have to be going there. We'll see. All right, what's our other running back? It probably isn't Saquon or Dalvin. I don't think we can really get to them. Unless we play 2 complete.
No. No,
Well,
like I said, I like Zeke better than Pollard for the pricing and the fact
I
that
honestly like Singletary or James Cook.
oh, I hate playing Singletary. I know he's been doing well as of late. I mean, it allows you to gain points, but if you're thinking Josh Allen's really going to be the guy, like,
Because I
he
think they could legit score like 5 touchdowns. Like Allen throws for 4, a Singletary runs for 1. I think they're gonna put it on the Lions.
I
Yeah, they
vote
could put up.
Elliott.
I think this game could shoot out for sure.
Like you keep saying that you're gonna play the Lions defense and you're like onslaught the Lions, and then you're saying it could be a shootout.
It could. I mean, I'm gonna have some exposure to that
Oh, okay.
scenario not happening though.
So what do you guys think? I mean, what do you vote here, Nick? What running back?
I like Tony Pollard a lot, or Zeke.
Yeah,
don't hate
I like Pollard. I like Pollard, Zeke, Singletary, or Cook in this spot. What do you say, Alex?
I'm having trouble going with Zeke. Corey, what is it just price point? Like, what's your reasoning for liking him better
Just
than
thinks he's
Pollard?
gonna be featured on Thanksgiving, like Jerry Jones.
Well, it's price point and the fact that, I mean, Tony Pollard could fail and not get in the receiving game, which if you take away his receiving threat that he had last week, Zeke outscores him. So
Okay, so tournament wise, the lowest owned guys, because right now we're not different at all, and we have 3 spots left. James Cook and Zeke will be of the guys I mentioned. Pollard and Singletary will garner ownership. Zeke will be like under 15%, and I think Cook will be under like 10%. Cook will be
well. Then what about Swift at the bottom? Like if you're gonna
Swift
go
will
down,
also Swift is another guy. I forgot about him.
I like Swift too. I do Swift
To stack this game completely.
Yeah.
If it's gonna be a shootout, you're gonna want DeAndre Swift for sure.
Yeah, right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys from this game.
Yeah.
Like it.
Gives you 2 spots, 5,700 each. Allows us to go for a cheap guy.
We could probably play one more semi-chalky piece and then like a low-owned guy to pair with Swift to get really different.
Let's try and find our low-owned guy first, and then
I vote.
We can get chalk-wise.
I vote Aguilar or Thornton. That's my vote.
I think Thornton has the best chance to catch a long ball. He's at least. I mean, he doesn't. The issue with him is he's literally the 4th guy there. And
yeah, he doesn't play nearly as many snaps. Aguilar has played like 3 times the amount of snaps, but
I think he has the. I mean, Aguilar's fucking terrible.
He's
so bad.
Yeah, I'm just saying those are my like.
Is Devontae?
Yeah, he like popped up on the injury report. He won't be very owned at all, but he'll be higher than Thornton and Aguilar for sure.
I don't think you could play Aguilar. I think he ruins your day.
I think he does too.
Yeah, but because like I'm playing 150 lineups. Like, yeah, the 8 lineups I have Aguilar and those might fail, but then I have 8 with Thornton, 8 with Parker. You know,
what if none of them go off because they all average like 2 points?
Yeah, I have other guys. I have Khalif Raymond. I have DJ Chark. Like I'm playing.
Do we like Bourne at all? No one likes Bourne.
No, he's the one Patriot that I do not like because I don't think he has that home run ball.
Yeah, I think Thornton's the best play, to be honest.
I mean,
the home run ball.
Do you hate the Giants defense instead of the Vikings because that gives us $700 more? And
no, if we play Thornton, we don't need any money. We have like.
But that's what I'm saying. Then we don't have
82. We could play Diggs and Gabe in this lineup. Like that's we could play Jefferson in this lineup.
Yeah,
do it. Put him in.
That's why I like.
Do we like it more than CD?
Nick loves CD, but
I like Jefferson more.
I would go CD because you'd leave salary and this lineup would for sure be unique. And because again, I want a Dallas player in every lineup. But like if you guys want Jefferson in this lineup, I'm fine with that. Like
I think you gotta look at it strategically. It's gonna be end of a long Thanksgiving day. You're gonna want Justin Jefferson in the game.
So we're playing
in your lineup
pieces from that middle game, which I don't hate, but because I like the under, but just so we're aware.
Yeah, we're really fading. We're literally we're saying the Giants Cowboys game does nothing if we play Jefferson.
Which and like we said, I mean, something could pop up, and we're like, shit, we need to, late swap. Or I mean, I guess you
This
can't
isn't a
really
lineup
late
I think you
swap.
have to though, because of what
No.
we're playing with Thornton, Swift, and Jefferson instead of Diggs on an Allen team. That's unique.
It's crazy.
I mean, that's
Playing
a squad.
Jefferson on an Allen team with no Diggs, Thornton, Swift. Like that's unique.
That's a squad.
I mean, yeah, it's a squad right there. So
It's the one.
I like it.
Yeah, and you could kind of make that same lineup and rotate Aguilar and some of those other Patriots or Giants guys, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But hopefully that's the one. We end up taking it down on Thanksgiving.
Feastin.
Yeah, feasting. That'll be crazy going to that last game for live. But it's a fun day. Thanksgiving showdown slates all day too, if you want. Again, if you do get burned. Or to hedge, you can get your hedges in by playing these showdown slates. So that'll be all for today's episode, and we'll be back for our main slate, betting show and DFS picks, of course. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.